Skywalker were like Finn's friendship with that one lady. Where they're talking about their past, but like being stormtroopers and like there was a better life than that. Why wasn't the movie about them two? They were the only two interesting characters in this movie, and the only one that seemed like they were best friends. And the one touching moment with Kylo Ren and Han Solo. That was a real solid moment. And it was really good. I was like, okay, yeah, really good, really good. So let's talk about everything else that's in this movie. So why is Palpatine here? Other than a cobbled together script, he's there just for reference fodder, pretty much. Just put it together at the last minute and just toss it along. So why didn't you establish Palpatine in the first movie? So if he was the voice of Snoke and all. So here's what I would have done. Like in The Force Awakens, at the end of the movie, just like a little sting, like a little teaser, you have Kylo Ren get up, and then he hears a voice, and you see Palpatine, and you're like, oh crap, he is by Snoke, and you're like, ooh, okay, that would have been much better. And you're like, oh, Palpatine's back, god dang, wow, that would have been a better payoff. And later on, I build him up even more, and the surprise of Palpatine coming back in this movie wouldn't have been so jarring. And people would have gone along with it and be like, okay, I understand why Palpatine's here because you built him up since The Force Awakens. But no, you just throw him in here for whatever reason that there is, just to get Ian McDiarmid back, which Ian McDiarmid didn't give his best performance in this movie. He was just like just dragging it along. It's like, yeah, I gotta do my thing. Like, how much longer do I have for this? It just seems like he didn't even try. And let's talk about how, like, over the top, like, Rey is. Meaning, like, she has every power of the Jedi. Oh, yeah, did I mention that? It's like Avatar syndrome. But instead of a well-established character, it's just her being bland, boring, and forgettable. And apparently she can block Force lightning with two lightsabers when Mace Windu couldn't even do that. In the prequels, he couldn't even do that, but somehow she can. I'm like, what? How is that possible? So it's like you're creating a character, like in a Star Wars game, and you give it every stat, and you put it all the way up to 99. He can do anything, can't be beaten at all. That's what it was. And are Rey, Finn, and Poe supposed to be best friends? Because I don't get that from this movie. They just bicker and whine all the time. And their feelings for Chewie are not convincing at all. It's not. And poor Chewie, he got stuck with him. There's like fussing and everything all the time. The droids had more character, and they're just droids. They don't even speak half of the time. Oh my god, the dialogue is just so bland, so boring, so safe. Oh, and Lando Calrissian, again, just another reference thing, is here. For no reason at all, just to get Billy D. Williams back in this movie, because, you know, Solo was pretty horrible. But even Solo, for as bad as it was, the story was at least okay. And it had consistent story. Here, it's just like the story's all over the place, you know. And, oh yeah, did I mention Rey's a Palpatine in this movie? Yeah. They just throw that at the last minute. Like I said, if they would have established that in The Force Awakens that she was a Palpatine, like have Palpatine speak to her or something, you know, that would have been not so jarring in this movie. But it's just jarring. Just throw that in and say, oh yeah, she's a Palpatine now. Yeah, we forgot to mention that in The Force Awakens and the other movie as well. Sorry about that. It's just like, why would you do that? That's just lazy writing, and just want to throw something in the last minute for the sake of like, oh, they'll just go by because, you know, Star Wars, you know, whatever. And then Kylo Ren has a redemption arc in this movie. I was like, okay, he's gonna have a redemption arc. He's gonna become a good guy, right? And he's gonna be like in the next movies and stuff like that. Establish him as a Jedi. Nope, he dies in this movie. Oh yeah, he dies in this movie. That is such a cheap cop out. That is such a cheap cop out, JJ. It is cheap. Like, And man, poor Finn. Like, they screwed over so much. Finn should have been the Jedi. And then, well, yeah, he should have been a Jedi. And then, like, Rey should have been, like, on the dark side. That would have been a much better story. Like, Finn going from a stormtrooper to a Jedi. And then Rey going from good to, like, the dark side. Kind of like Anakin, in a way, but it been built up much better. That would have been such much interesting than what we got here. Safe, boring, and bland and predictable. How is it that The Mandalorian had better writing, better characters, and better established like story than this movie? How is it that happened? Uncut Gems is a really, really good movie. And Adam Sandler, when he steps out of that comedy shell that he's been in the last few years, and when he gets into a more serious role, he's allowed to shine. And his acting is fantastic here. You believe that he's Howie the illegal, like, jewel trader and sports bettor. And you feel, like, for his character, like, throughout the movie. He's likable, but stupid. And then when that emotional scene came up, it hit me hard, like, because you established the character of who he was and see, like, his ups and his downs and stuff like that. And then when that emotional scene came, it was earned. It was worth it. And you feel for the character. If they didn't establish nothing in this movie, and then you have that emotional scene later, I'm like, okay, that's just out of nowhere. But you establish, like, a character, you know how to write it well, then yes, it is earned. And Sandler's acting is just phenomenal. It's just fantastic. Just amazing. My God, was amazing. And I was just in my seat the whole time, waiting to see what was happening next. It's like you're so invested in, like, the characters in the movie and stuff like that. It was like, man. And that ending, the ending. So he finally wins, like a bet on, like, a Celtics game. He finally wins and hit it big and everything, but he gets shot at the end. And then that's where the movie ends. I'm like, talk about an ending, my. I thank you for not going for the traditional ending, but wow, I didn't see that coming. So I recommend you check out this movie. It's a really fantastic movie, and Adam Sandler shines. If you're a fan of, like, just Adam Sandler, or if you're just looking for like a reason, like, to get back in, like, to Adam Sandler, like, when he's not being, like, the goofy, Grown Ups or The Longest Yard type of guy, this is your movie.